In January of 2024, 4 investigators from Grey Duck Paranormal bundled up and headed north towards the small town of Hibbing, Minnesota, to visit a location that seems an unlikely home to paranormal activity. It is thought that a cemetery near the location may be fueling the energy, creating activity that includes sounds of slamming windows, sightings of shadow figures and partial apparitions, as well as disembodied voices. Are the spirits wandering over from the cemetery to visit this small building? Or do the objects located within the walls of this location bring with them a haunted history? Join us as Grey Duck Paranormal investigates the Greyhound Bus Museum in Hibbing, Minnesota.
So we are on our way to the Greyhound Bus Museum up in Hibbing, Minnesota. I am pretty excited about this investigation, not going to lie. Mostly because it's actually not that well known of a location outside of Minnesota, but locally it is pretty well known to be potentially haunted. So excited to see what happens. We'll see. We'll see when we get up there. We'll talk to Ron, my point of contact up there at the museum. Get some additional info from him and see what he's got to say about the museum itself. Some things that we have read and heard about online and through some research. It sounds like the spirit of a young girl might be wandering the museum. It's said that she likes to play with toys that people leave there, and she likes to wander between the buses and just kind of be present. So we'll see if we can make contact with her. There's also the story of a maintenance worker who seems to be attached to the buses, so I don't know if he maybe maintained the buses at one point. We'll see. We'll see if we can get in touch with that person. There's also some people that believe the cemetery across the street that might be pulling in some wandering spirits into the museum. It's kind of like a rest stop of sorts. So I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting investigation. Should be a fun time, and we'll see what happens when we get there.
The Greyhound Company has a very long and storied history that is absolutely worth looking into, that I am unfortunately going to have to bypass for the sake of time. The abbreviated version is that the Greyhound Company was started back in 1914 in Hibbing, Minnesota by a Swedish immigrant and Hupmobile salesman named Eric Wickman, who began by driving ore miners to and from work for money, and very quickly began working with other drivers in nearby communities to expand their services. It wasn't until 1929 that the company would officially use the name Greyhound and move the headquarters down to Chicago. Jumping forward into the 1940s, World War II engulfed every aspect of human life at the time, and the bus industry became an essential part of our daily travel experience. Gas, rubber, and metal rations meant individual travel and car upkeep was completely impractical. And the company leaned into this aspect by producing posters claiming that by taking the bus, you were doing your part to support the war effort. Post-World War II, Greyhound had to once again react to a changing landscape. A newly refreshed country free from the wartime rationing meant that many families were open to the idea of individual travel. During the war, Greyhound became synonymous with safety, reliability, and supporting the wartime efforts, and it was after the war that they would use marketing to reach an audience to remind them of these very concepts. In 1945, Greyhound produced the "I'll Be Home for Christmas" advertisement to tap into these themes of safety, reliability, and family connection with a country consumed with the return of troops from overseas. Opened in September of 1989 under the name Greyhound Bus Origin Center, the Greyhound Bus Museum was created by one man named Gene Nicolelli, a local resident of Hibbing who found a plaque in the abandoned Greyhound terminal honoring the town as the birthplace of the bus industry. He wanted to celebrate the history of this great industry by collecting and displaying classic buses and company memorabilia like the ones previously mentioned from over the years. But even with all the information available about the history of Greyhound as a company and the museum itself, it doesn't seem to really explain why this place is haunted. A quick search online and this building comes up on many of Minnesota's top most haunted locations, citing a young child spirit around the buses near the back of the building, windows on the double-decker being opened and closed on their own, and sightings of shadow figures wandering in and around the buses. Where could these spirits be coming from, and why are they lingering around this building? Are the claims of these spirits here being a result of some collective imagination? These are a few of the questions that we're hoping to answer by visiting this great museum.
All right, we are here at the Greyhound Bus Museum. We are inside the museum. We did just get done talking with Ron and Samantha. They have left for the night. They're gone. So I'm just going to kind of talk about what they told us, a little walkthrough of the museum here. So if you guys want to follow me, we can walk around and talk about what they said. So basically, this is kind of the main event right in here. So we have, looks like 7 buses in here. The most active one, they said, is this one right here. So they said basically they've had people's faces appearing in the windows of that bus. They've also seen some orb activity inside the bus itself. I know the story of the little girl is she is seen and heard in here too. She likes playing with things in here. They also see shadows kind of darting between the buses, so this will be probably our main area of focus in here tonight. So we'll see what happens. Here they have kind of just some historical artifacts from Greyhound, the company Greyhound. Didn't really mention a whole lot about what happens in here, but I would think that, especially with so many artifacts in here, you might have maybe some residual type energy maybe attached to some of this stuff. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, so here's some of the uniforms that the drivers wore. So these in particular, may have some kind of residual type energy on them maybe. Somebody that's wearing it for a living, they're driving buses for a living. They spent a lot of time in that uniform probably, so we'll see.
As Grady mentions, the driver uniforms here could be thought to have some residual energy attached to them and may keep the spiritual energy around this location. A term you may hear us or other paranormal teams use in the future is trigger object. This refers to an object that is contextually relevant to a location that an investigator can use to elicit a response from a spirit. These objects can be brought in by an investigator, but in this case, the trigger objects are already here, so we are hoping that these uniforms help drive the activity tonight. For reference, here is an overhead map of the location. As this graphic may help illustrate, this investigation presents some really interesting challenges. This is a very small location with a lot of hard surfaces and reflective materials, making it difficult to avoid contaminating audio and video elements accidentally. There were times in the review process where a recorder was picking up our voices on the other side of the building, and IR lights were bouncing off of reflective metals and glass, making it look like there was more movement in or around the buses. We had to be very careful to compare all of our audio and video throughout this process to ensure that we're not mistaking our equipment as being anything paranormal. To begin our investigation, here is where we choose to set up our static camera and iPhone, which is recording audio all evening. The bulk of the investigation takes place in this section of the building, although we do end up splitting up throughout the evening to see if we can capture anything of interest in other areas of this little building, like the boiler room back hallway and the area near the old car. While Grady and I are back in the boiler room looking at some of the instructions left for us by the owners, we start to hear some strange noises coming from the main garage area, so we quickly wrap up, grab our gear, begin turning the lights off, and move into the main area to investigate. Oh, there's some lights on over in this other area. Watching you. I'm hearing noises in the back corner.
Are you?
Yeah.
Like what?
It almost sounded like somebody walking, maybe?
Yeah.
This is gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah. If there's anybody in here, make a knock. That's Grady.
Did you just...
Heard that?
No, I thought I heard like a whisper. I'm not sure though. I'll try to keep your house pretty warm back here.
They said it was this bus right here that was super active?
Yeah, that's the one where they said they saw the faces in the window.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah.
That was loud. It's a dog costume. I'm on the bus. I'm a big fan of public transport. I don't know if the buses are going to make a lot of noise while you're walking around in them though.
Yeah, they might.
Bouncing?
Yeah, that might have been it.
Yeah, it's got some jiggle to it. Alright, I'm getting off the bus.
I think I'm gonna put my digital voice recorder on in there.
Okay.
We'd love to hear your story if you just come say hi into this voice recorder here. We're gonna leave for now, but I'm gonna leave the recorder here, so come talk into it, okay?
At this point, Grady and I move on to separate buses and attempt to capture some EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena. EVPs are captures of spirit voices on a recording device, as it is believed that spirits are very difficult to hear on location without the aid of these devices. By isolating ourselves on these buses, we're simply trying to increase the odds that we capture an interaction with a spirit that is nearby.
Anybody on this bus with me? Where are we going? It said that when you're sitting on the bus, you can hear people walking outside. Is that you guys walking around out there?
I'm here to respectfully make contact with anybody that's in this location. The hell was that?
Did you come from the cemetery across the street? Is there something about that cemetery that brings spirits here? Are you the girl that's seen in this museum?
What was that? Alright, I'm gonna get out of this bus. What's that?
Oh, I saw the light. I didn't know where you were though.
Oh.
Anything?
There was a couple knocks on the side of this bus, but nothing major.
This bus has been very quiet, so no knocks or anything. Do you have your REM pod?
It's in the lobby.
Okay.
For this section of our investigation, we drop a REM pod near the Hupmobile, also referred to as the old car, based on some success other teams have had around this area. As a quick reminder, a REM pod is a small cylinder that radiates an electromagnetic field from the antenna, and if there's any kind of disturbance to that field, the pod will make a high-pitched sound, and one or several colored LEDs will light up based on the strength and proximity of the disturbance. The device will also sound an alarm if there is a temperature difference detected. We also have to be aware that these devices can be manipulated by radio frequencies from cell phones and walkie-talkies, which is something we actually run into later in this investigation. For now, though, we're not running any of these electronics, so we're not too worried about it at this point. We could go on the bus and just try to do EVPs there.
Yeah, that works.
Let's do it.
EVP burst session.
During a quick break and a battery swap, Grady and I hear some knocking sounds coming from somewhere in the garage. so we decide to head towards the bus closest to the back corner, an area that we have been told is quite active. The spirit of a little girl is said to enjoy running around these buses near the back, and shadow figures are seen moving around inside of this bus in particular. We are still only using our camcorders and a single digital audio recorder.
Anybody here with us? Want to come say hi to us? We're on the bus here in the back corner. There's Griff right behind me there. You want to go say hi to Griff? Were you on this bus? Did it take you somewhere? Are you the little girl that they see here in the museum? If you're here on this bus, can you come up and touch this green light on the floor? Let us know that you're here. That will light up if you go near it.
There's a loud knock right outside the bus.
Mm-hmm. Can you make another loud noise? What is your name? Do you want us to leave? Where are you in this museum? Do you know it's a museum? Are these buses important to you for some reason? If you're on one of the other buses, can you make a loud noise? Alright, well, we're going to head off this bus, so if you said something to us, thank you.
After spending about 15 minutes on the bus without hearing anything but a few loud knocks, we start heading back to the lobby as Rachel and Melissa will be arriving shortly.
Anybody in here with us? Come on and talk. We mean you no disrespect. We just want to communicate, say hi. We just want to know that you're here.
What's up?
Fiddling.
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 He's a fiddler on the roof. At this moment, I hear what sounds like the word ticket being said, just unfortunately not while I was on location. The timing of this word certainly seems relevant. It's as I'm walking up to the door where I would hear this word. I did also listen back from Grady's perspective just to be sure it wasn't him, and while you can very faintly hear it, it's much louder on my camera, so I think I can rule him out. The other option would be it's me brushing up against something, but unfortunately, Grady's camera is looking toward the exit of the room as he's walking in that direction. So this is a fun little capture. I just can't say that it's anything paranormal. Fiddling.
Fiddling.
He's a fiddler on the roof. Fiddling.
Fiddling.
He's a fiddler on the roof. Fiddling.
Fiddling.
Fiddler on the roof.
Well, soda break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, welcome back. We're at the Greyhound Bus Museum. Rachel and Melissa are here with us, so we're going to get this party started. We're going to give them a quick tour, and then get rocking and rolling.
At this time, Rachel and Melissa arrive on location, and we move into the next phase of our evening. This next section involves a spirit box session using the same spirit box we've used on previous investigations, but with the added element of a Faraday cloth, which is a fabric made specifically to block radio signals for a variety of purposes. The idea was to try and eliminate any radio stations from reaching the device and rely on the theory that spirits can speak through white noise and different frequencies. Here's a recap of the Facebook Live event we held, which lasted for about an hour, in which we turned the lights back on so the audience can see what we're doing. For the first 15 minutes or so, we attempt to make contact with any spirits around bus number 7. After that time is up, we let the audience pick where we go next.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak with us?
Were you on this bus at some point? Were you heading somewhere? Jean, what was your last name? Can you tell us that? Opening it to all spirits, any spirits here in the museum, come talk to us. Make yourself known.
The chat is saying a different bus.
Okay, all right.
So that is what we shall do.
After spending about 15 to 20 minutes on this first bus and not getting any responses, we, along with our viewers, decided to try moving onto this bus while continuing the spirit box session.
They don't make them like this anymore, that's for sure.
Sure don't.
Holy buckets.
Grandpa, is there anything you want us to ask? It sounds like they're connecting with you. Spirit.
Spirit? Yeah.
I heard it say spirit.
Do you know that you're a spirit here?
Back. Did you hear that?
At this moment, we believe we heard the word back, being that it is sometimes difficult to pick out the word in real time. I actually think we got this one wrong in the moment. After reviewing this a few more times, I actually believe the word being said here is sighed or died.
Back. Did you hear that?
I heard something, I didn't know what it said, but...
Yeah.
I heard it say back.
Why did you sit in the back? Alright, last call. This bus is leaving in a minute, so if you're going, better get on.
Sure?
Something?
That was a completely different voice than the last
Yeah.
It was a female voice.
It was a female
Did
voice.
you hear it, Rosa? Come closer.
Oh. What?
Let's say stop
Or
or
stop.
what?
Alright.
Rachel, can you take a step forward? Step back? Okay. I saw your reflection in the mirror.
Oh.
It looked like somebody was on the bus over there.
Oh.
Nobody move!
Let's go check out the double-decker bus.
Alright.
After spending about 15 minutes on the second bus and not getting much in terms of communication, we continue the spirit box session and live stream over on the double-decker bus.
Who's with us on this fancy bus? Joe? Is your name Joe? Did you just say your name?
Yeah.
Something. It was the same voice, too.
Same voice.
Yep.
I didn't hear what it said. Let us know in the chat if you know what it said. Where you going?
Can you make a noise? No. Joe, oh, sorry. Joe, did you fight in the war?
Fight?
Fight, yeah. Well, if you fought overseas, we do thank you. That's very noble. Where can you tell us where you fought? That somebody's stomach?
It wasn't mine.
What was that?
I don't know, but I don't think she would have been able to hear it. But it sounded like something going like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounded like it was coming from down here.
That's what I thought. I thought it was your stomach, Rachel, but...
Yeah, that's what I thought.
My stomach did not make a noise that I'm aware of. Now, that's not definitive proof it wasn't my stomach, but...
Sure. Weird. Thanks, Joe. Thank you for making that noise. If that was you, we really, really appreciate that. That was awesome. You seem like a really good guy, Joe.
Is this the bus you took when you left home to go fight?
Oh, yeah.
Fight?
Fight?
Yeah.
Fight?
Yeah, fight, something like that.
So Grady just slowed down the sweep a little bit. Did you get on this bus and you weren't able to come home?
I thought I just heard a lady outside the bus.
Did you?
Yeah.
I heard, I couldn't tell what it was, but I heard something.
Yeah. I thought I heard a lady, like, yell or something.
Oh.
Well, the recorder's still going, right, out there?
No.
No, but
It's charging.
My digital recorder is in the other bus, so...
Okay, so maybe it would have caught that. The digital recorder's not on the dog head anymore?
No, not anymore.
When you got on this bus, were you happy or were you sad? Were you maybe scared? Sue, to answer your question, we did have one set up, but it's charging right now, so we're going to place it somewhere else a little bit later.
Oh, that was that
Did
guy.
you say sad?
Yeah,
Something like that, yeah.
sounded like that singing.
Let's say
who we
Joe
think was
voice.
Joe, yeah. Joe, were you sad? What were you sad about? Friend?
Friends.
Yeah, friends.
Well, we asked him why he was sad.
Yeah.
If he was leaving. Are you sad because you had to leave your friends behind?
Ooh, I'm getting like... I just got super chilled. Holy moly. That's weird. Becoming affected. That usually doesn't happen to me though, so that's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
And now it's gone. Like just for like a moment there, like, my arms got really cold.
Like it passed by you.
Joe, did you get up to get off the bus?
Check the EMF around you.
It said something there. I don't know what it was. Nothing.
Joe, is there anything else you want to tell us before we close out this portion? We're going to go somewhere else.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard something there.
Yeah, fight or hi or something.
Yeah.
Joe, we really, really appreciate you talking to us, man. You're welcome, maybe, or something?
Something like that, yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap up this portion. We're going to move on somewhere else.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. We really appreciate you talking to us, and thanks for everything you did. You know, sounded like you fought somewhere, so thank you.
We'll be around.
Yeah, we'll be here for quite a while here tonight, so feel free to come talk to us. Okay? Or,
Yeah,
all
yep,
right,
okay, something like that.
Or yep, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Some kind of affirmation.
Yeah. All right, Joe, we'll be seeing you, bud. Heck, you could even show yourself to us. That'd be fantastic. See you later.
After an enjoyable first session on Facebook Live where we interacted with viewers, friends, and family, a special thank you to everybody who tuned in, we headed back to the lobby to regroup and figure out what to do next. I unplugged my iPhone and moved it back over near the static camera where after about 6 minutes of recording we captured what sounds like a voice trying to get our attention.
Maybe out here so that... maybe out here so that... maybe out here so that...
Now, this very well could be a combination of a few different sounds as Rachel and Grady walk into the garage to plan our next move. The rustling of clothing as they were walking into the garage, or the sliding of a shoe on the hard floor. We don't have anyone in frame during this period, so we just can't know for sure. All I can tell is that it caught my attention during the review process, and it certainly sounds like someone trying to get us to follow them somewhere. For this next section of the investigation, we decided to split up completely. Grady is heading back to the double-decker bus, armed with his camera and a digital recorder. Melissa makes her way to the back corner of the garage area with an EMF reader and a digital recorder nearby. Rachel takes a seat in the hallway by the boiler room to perform a spirit box session, and I move my static camera and iPhone to the area by the old car, and then take a seat on the first bus. Grady is hoping to tap back into the energy we were experiencing during the Facebook Live event, and by splitting up, we are hoping to invite the energy here to show itself to any one of us.
This is Grady. I am on the double-decker bus alone. It is 9:24 p.m. Alright, let's see. Anybody, anybody here with me right now? Want to talk? Who is here with me? Joe? If you're here, can you say hi?
If there are any spirits on this bus, make your presence known. It's got to be loud, too.
Joe? We were just talking to you on this bus. Are you still here? What the hell was that?
Moving my flashlight again.
We were just talking to you on this bus. Are you still here? What the hell was that?
Moving my flashlight again.
Holy shit. Okay. Somebody. I could have sworn I heard somebody get on either just outside the bus or they got on the bus or something.
After spending a little while on the first bus and not feeling any energy or getting any sort of responses, I decide to head back to the lobby to see how the others are doing.
How's it going?
Good. I got really freaked out back there.
What?
So I got really freaked out back there.
Really?
Yeah. I just sent Melissa back there with the EMF to see how she feels.
Joe? Are you still on this bus with me? If you are, can you come talk to me?
After Rachel explains how the back hallway feels a little more oppressive than some of the other areas in the building, we grab the spirit box once more and make our way to the back hallway to see if we can capture on camera whatever energy might be in that space. We are aware that this hallway is one of the most narrow sections in the building, and as the boiler room is in that same area, it can all contribute to the general uneasy feeling of this space.
How old are you?
I'm hearing something, but I can't make out the word.
The heck was that? That was a loud bang somewhere. Man. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I'm not getting any readings on here, but that temp, that has gone up a solid 8-9 degrees since I got on this bus. So Whatever that means.
Gene, if you're here, we heard you really love this place.
I'd say sorry.
Sorry.
I don't know. There's just... there's a lot of just sounds in here. I mean, some of it can be attributed, I suppose, to the temp that's just like shooting up. I mean, it's, 80 degrees. I mean, when I got on this bus, it was like 70. So...
What's your name?
Was just a scream?
Did you hear that whistle?
Yeah, it was a whistle or a scream or something.
That was pretty loud. Wherever that was. Okay, if you were here and you said something to me, I appreciate it. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. We mean nothing but the most respect for you. And I appreciate your time. And thank you for making the effort to talk to me.
At this time, we regroup and fill Grady in on what Rachel and Melissa had felt in the back hallway. Grady, armed with his spirit box and camera, begins a solo session outside the boiler room to see if he can recreate the conditions that led to Rachel ending her solo session just a little while earlier. Meanwhile, Rachel, Melissa, and I head to the double-decker bus to see if we can capture any more of the knocking or walking sounds that Grady had heard in his time on that bus.
Just as I sat down and then it went off.
Okay. Yeah, Grady had a spike somewhere over there too. I don't know how high his got. What was that noise?
Was that you, Melissa?
No.
It sounded like it came from out front, outside the bus.
Interestingly enough, we do have a slight hit. Let's see if I can see this here. On the EMF, 0.8, steady. We are next to the boiler room, so that is important to keep note of. See if that shows up maybe a little better here. Hang on a second. Okay. There we go. So, who's down here with me? Where did they come from? We came from the Twin Cities. Where are you from? I thought, okay, hang on. I thought, right when that thing said, where did they come from? I thought something grabbed my shoulder right there.
As Grady's attempting to make contact using the spirit box, he feels a hand grab his shoulder, seemingly coming out of the doorway that leads into one of the bathrooms. Any contact like this can usually be explained by some kind of muscle spasm, or just by how hyper-aware you can be when sitting alone in a dark hallway. However, in just a moment we get a response on the spirit box that seems to confirm this interaction.
Definitely is a weird... Definitely is a weird, weird vibe down in this hallway here. I don't know what it is or why it feels weird, but I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel like you're alone over here.
You have the floor. This is your opportunity.
Anybody down here? Yeah? If you are, can you make that EMF go off at the end of the hallway? Make that light up.
After spending a little while on the double-decker, we found ourselves getting no responses on the spirit box, and we captured only a single sound coming from somewhere outside the bus. So we started heading back towards the boiler room, where Grady has been interacting with something unseen.
Why are you here at the museum? Kind of a deep voice there.
At this moment, we hear what sounds like the word touch. Unfortunately, Grady doesn't hear it in real time on location, instead only hearing the deeper tonal quality of the voice itself. Could this be the spirit that grabbed his shoulder a moment ago? Let us know if you hear the word touch, or if you hear something different.
Creepy.
Yeah?
When I first got down here, I sat down, started running the spirit box, and within the first couple of seconds, I got a voice that said, "Where did they come from?" And I said, "Minneapolis." And I think I got touched on my shoulder.
Oh,
Dang!
Right here, which was up against this doorway.
Yeah.
And I was getting a lot of like radio interference, so then I buried it further in there, and I kind of started getting a little more like, okay, who are you?
Yeah.
And there was a deep voice that came through. I couldn't tell what it said, and then you started coming around the corner. So,
Okay.
so
You think maybe you were getting Gene?
I didn't get a gene, no.
So I'm wondering if he's protective over the space.
Yeah, I was wondering that too, because the manager's office is right there. But I mean, I definitely like. It wasn't like an aggressive touch, but I almost felt, I don't know. It just was like a real like gentle, which doesn't really make sense with everything else that was going on.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know what that was. So it was
We just weren't getting anything.
Yeah, we got 0 responses.
really
Not a single.
Yeah.
wow.
Yep.
Like no vibes, no nothing.
Are you attached to this building somehow, or did you come from the cemetery? Rush.
Rush. Yeah.
Are you in a rush somewhere?
Stop here.
Yeah, that home.
You guys know this is a museum, or are you trying to board the buses? Are you trying to go somewhere?
I feel like it said board.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
No, it doesn't. Did it say Griff?
What was that?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Double Decker was super active. Back there, it seemed like when we were on our own, Rachel had some activity. Sounds like Melissa maybe felt a little bit when she was back there, and then Grady felt it when he was back there by himself.
And that's all when we were alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Right, we haven't gotten anything as a group other than when we were on the live.
Yeah, I suppose if I'm a little kid in here,
Right.
3 adults sitting on the bus telling me that I should be pounding on the windows or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Despite getting some responses on the spirit box, it's starting to feel like we're getting better activity when in smaller teams or alone. So we split into teams of 2, with Grady and I staying in the back hallway, and Rachel and Melissa making their way over to bus number 4, a bus that none of us have really explored yet. Unfortunately though, none of us get any further responses or activity during this portion, so we come up with a plan to try a modified Estes Method spirit box session that we used in our very first investigation at Edinburgh Manor. Grady, explain what we're doing here.
Okay, so basically what's happening is we are conducting the Estes Method, where, so traditionally how that goes is one person goes quote unquote under. Basically they put on a set of headphones, become pretty much oblivious to everything that's going on around them. The headphones are connected to a spirit box. Somebody else is asking questions. The person who's listening to the spirit box will just call out the words that they're hearing, in a sense, answering the questions that are being asked. We're doing a slight variant on it, where we're going to split up into 2 teams. One group will have the spirit box on one side of the facility. The other group will be on the other side of the facility just asking questions. And the people with the spirit box will report what words they're hearing. We'll see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So, sounds like fun.
Sounds like fun. To summarize, Grady and Rachel will be running the spirit box while seated next to the old car, and Melissa and I will be getting onto bus number 7 and asking questions of any nearby spirits with the hopes that they can use the spirit box to communicate. Grady and Rachel will be using a walkie-talkie to give us the words or phrases that they hear in real time, but they cannot hear the questions that we are asking. You may also hear the REM pod going off in the background because we are currently in range while communicating with Grady and Rachel over the walkie-talkie. Is there anyone in this bus or anyone that can hear my voice right now?
No, sure.
Was that them?
We had a so or no about a minute ago, but nothing since.
You don't want to go talk to those 2 over there? Is that them making all that noise? Are there any spirits out there making those little banging noises and stuff?
Grady?
A male voice said either 3 or grave, maybe, or something along those lines.
What?
What?
Are there service members still here?
Yep.
Yep.
Male said yep.
Okay. Are you going to war? What is that?
Are you guys making a bunch of banging noises? What?
No, we're sitting completely still.
So who's going to war?
It sounded like a male voice said, hear that? Question mark.
Gia?
Is that Eugene?
You hear something?
You guys still hearing that banging?
I heard it literally like a half second before you pinged me here.
We heard something that we can best describe as, like if you open a door and like the ceiling tile, due to the pressure change, like pops up, you know?
Maybe you don't even see him.
Just heard another bang kind of coming from the front entryway a little bit.
I'm hearing a lot of noises. Is that somebody walking around out there? Yeah, I'm still hearing.
Male voice said boys.
Boys, okay. Still hearing banging from somewhere out there. I don't know where it is.
Hi.
Female said hi.
I thought I heard it say almost.
Did you just think somebody was standing back there?
Yeah, it fucking did.
I did too.
Literally thought I heard somebody walk into the
Yeah,
room.
I did too. That was weird.
At this moment, Rachel and Grady both turn towards the doorway, where they hear what sounds like someone or something walking towards them. Unfortunately, we can't hear anything over the sound of the spirit box, even after adjusting audio levels and attempting to filter out the noise. But with the amount of knocking and other strange sounds happening all over the garage area at this time, I certainly don't doubt that they are hearing something. There's that bang again.
Yeah, I heard that loud and clear.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That scared me.
Yeah, it did me a little bit too.
After being startled by what sounded like someone walking up on them, Grady and Rachel do a quick check of the lobby and back hallway before joining back up with us in the main garage area. When we're in there, we're hearing it. Something is making noise in here.
Well, so we're getting almost nothing on the spirit box. We got a couple of the words, obviously, that we sent over.
Yeah.
But, like, we kept hearing, like,
Thumps.
thumps from behind us. So, like, we were both sitting in front of the car. So, like, the entrance to the lobby was behind us. I thought I heard, like, footsteps, like, on the carpet.
Yeah.
And we both looked at the same time because we thought somebody was coming in the room.
I mean, the noises are coming from this side of the place towards that door.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's one of these three buses.
Yeah.
So it is.
Whoa.
Yeah. With all the sounds we are currently hearing, Rachel makes the suggestion that we each pick one corner of the garage to occupy so that we can try to narrow down exactly where these sounds are coming from. Grady moves to the back corner, while Rachel stands in the doorway leading to the historical memorabilia area. Melissa moves over to the door leading back to the lobby, and I hover around the area by the golf cart looking vehicle.
Who's in here? Holy Jesus. Jesus.
What was that?
I don't know. It was like right next to me though.
Yeah, it was loud.
Is there somebody in here? Make yourself known. If you're making noise, we need a little more than that. Good job so far, but do something just a little more.
I just saw an orb slowly make its way from the bus that we were just on over to this other bus, and it disappeared in the doorway.
Oh, I heard that. What the heck is going on in here?
Yeah, it's like once we split up to do that spirit box thing, all of a sudden this place lit up.
Yeah.
Loud.
Wow.
Loud. That was over by you, Grady?
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but
Yeah, I don't know what any of this is. We now find ourselves chasing sounds all over the garage when Grady and I hear a beeping sound coming from the lobby. As we peek in to take a look and check on our equipment, I hear Rachel reacting to something back on the double-decker bus.
I swear to God, I looked up and there was somebody standing in that bus just now.
Which bus?
This one. Like right in the middle.
in front or in the bus?
Like in the bus, but like really close to the glass.
Ew, creepy.
And like, for a second, I was like, oh, it was f***ing mannequins, but then it obviously isn't.
Huh? Okay. Creepy as hell.
Reviewing the footage, unfortunately nothing visual is captured here, so we just can't verify what it is Rachel saw. It's obviously very dark in this building, and it may have been the dark setting and a dusty windshield that combined to create a kind of silhouette of a person as Rachel moved past the front of the bus. Rachel seeing a figure on this bus, though, does provide some level of consistency in our experiences while at this location. Some of our best results with the spirit box and the general knocking and walking sounds seem to be happening around this bus. So, following Rachel's encounter, I hop on board to attempt to make contact with, or to capture on camera, whatever it was that she saw. Unfortunately, though, I came away empty-handed. We round out the end of our investigation with the second half of the Estes Method spirit box session, seeing if we could jumpstart any more activity, this time giving control of the spirit box to me, Melissa. Sadly, though, zero activity was recorded from this point onwards. Our spirit box started behaving rather strangely, repeating the same word over and over. Typically, a spirit box will scan through a wide range of radio frequencies. Once it reaches the end, it just loops back around to the beginning. We noticed that every time the loop would reset and get around to AM station 1242, that the word safe or south or some other similar word would play. I'm genuinely not really sure what would cause this. We tried changing the sweep speed and direction, and that didn't seem to change anything. It was a bizarre way to end the investigation, but after a long night and knowing we had a long drive ahead, we were ready to pack up and head out. The opportunity to investigate this location is something we're all extremely thankful for. The history of this company, the legacy it represents, and all those continuing to make sure these stories live on at this museum are absolutely worth celebrating and remembering. If nothing else, the takeaway from this investigation is that while we didn't walk away with concrete answers or the visual evidence we're always looking for, this little location was really surprising. I do think spirits may reside here, whether originating from the cemetery next door or through some kind of attachment to the objects within the building. We still don't know for sure. But their presence was felt and heard, and I hope that they find peace within the walls of this museum and around these motorized monuments to an industry that impacted so many lives and was born right here. Alright, so here's what's going on. We don't know what's going on. What kind of computer is this? Here we are in the car, about to go into the Greyhound Bus Museum. It is so unbelievably cold outside.
It's not that bad.
It's
It's
a nightmare.
It's 2 degrees.
2 degrees. It is very cold. Sitting in the car, waiting for Ron. Looks nice though. My camera.